What's up, Ninja Nerds? It is me, Sensei Holmes, and today I am bringing you a review of the new movie Karate Kid Legends. But before I do, I just want to give you all a heartfelt thank you so much to all of my subscribers and all of my new viewers as well. I am officially a YouTube partner and I have the ability to now be monetized. So that is all thanks to you, and I hope that I get to keep bringing you fun, entertaining, and educational martial arts videos for many years to come. So, having said that, let's get into it. Okay, the new Karate Kid Legends. This is the movie that was supposed to bring together the original Karate Kid series as well as the Cobra Kai series with the 2010 remake starring Jackie Chan and Will Smith's kid. Whatever, what's that kid's name? Anyway, this movie was supposed to bring together the two worlds and kind of explain that Jackie Chan wasn't actually a complete remake, but it was actually a continuation of the same universe. And the way they do that actually is, for me as a martial artist, is really satisfying, to be honest with you. See, you thought I was going to start with all the negativity first. First and foremost, going into seeing this film, I knew that I wanted to kind of judge it on a few different criteria. Number one, is it a movie that I would just enjoy? Is it a piece of entertainment that I would recommend if it was not a Karate Kid picture? Secondly, is it a good Karate Kid movie? Is it a good continuation? Does it pay respect to the original two Karate Kid films? So in my mind, the original 84 is the gold standard, and then closely behind it is Karate Kid Part 2. And so is this respecting the source material, I guess you could say. And then, is it a good Jackie Chan movie? Jackie Chan is in it, and I have been a Jackie Chan fan since the early 90s. So, I want to see some good Jackie Chan action. Does it feel like a Jackie Chan movie? And finally, judging it based on the martial arts performances, the choreography, and how it is shot. Is it a good martial arts movie? As a movie, as an independent piece of entertainment, would I recommend it? Did I enjoy myself? Absolutely yes. I really enjoyed the energy of the movie. I enjoyed the aesthetics. I enjoyed the acting. The two younger protagonists, who are really the main characters of the film, Lee, who is played by Ben Wang, and Mia, who is played by Sadie Stanley. And I would have sworn that would have been Jennifer Lawrence's kid sister. I swear to you, I fully expected the name Lawrence in the ending credits, but it did not happen. And to a quick Google search, it doesn't look like she's related, but I swear to God, she's like a clone of Jennifer Lawrence. They both were very good actors. They had a lot of charisma. They had a lot of chemistry together, and I enjoyed following them in this story. I thought they did a great job. Is it a good Jackie Chan movie? Well, here's the thing. Jackie Chan isn't in it all that much. He's a supporting role. He's not the main character. And the cinematography, the way that the fight scenes were shot, was definitely not Jackie Chan. It had a lot more of the close-ups and the quick cuts and things like where they would turn their hip like they're about to kick, and then before they finish the kick, it cuts to the reaction shot and things. So it makes it harder to follow the action. I'm an old school nerd where I really like the old kung fu movies where you'd have a long, wide shot and an extended take of the two actors performing with no cuts, so you can see the artistry of the performance and the interplay between the two characters and things like that. The main actor, Ben Wang, was competent for sure. I don't know how much martial arts he's done before this movie, but he was definitely competent in his performance. All the performers were. As a martial arts movie, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. If I was 12 years old and this was in the theaters, I would have eaten it up. Was it a good, fun movie, entertaining time at the movies? Absolutely. Is it a Jackie Chan movie? Not really. Is it a good follow-up to Karate Kid? I'll say this. It was a good follow-up to the 2010 Karate Kid. It doesn't feel like the original 80s Karate Kids, in the same way that Cobra Kai didn't feel like the 80s Karate Kids. And I think I figured it out. They've kind of jumped genres. The original Karate Kid movies, at least 1 and 2, were not really action movies. They weren't really martial arts movies. They were a drama that was character driven about a young boy who is going through a coming of age story, and his mentor, his father figure that he finds along the way. And it just happens to be in the world with the backdrop of martial arts and karate. That was the genre that it was originally, and it has since become almost more of a fantasy martial arts genre. And so jumping genres can work in movies. For example, the original Alien movie was a horror, but then the sequel, Aliens, was an action movie, sci-fi action, and it was masterfully done by Jim Cameron. So you can have sequels that are a different genre than the original. That can work, but in this case, it just feels like. For me, it just feels like kind of it's not a real Karate Kid movie. What it reminds me of actually is the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. Okay, that's exactly it. It's the original Star Trek. Again, nerd, two words, ninja, nerd, two things. Okay, that's me. But original Star Trek series were I've heard them described as Law and Order in space, and it's much more, it's like cerebral. It's up here, It's not super fast paced and crazy laser blasts and explosions all the time. And so J.J. Abrams, he took Star Trek in his series of movies and he turned it more into Star Wars. Lots of space battles and zipping around and lasers and explosions, and it was again fun movies, right? It just didn't feel like the original Star Trek. Original Karate Kid was more of a dramatic movie. Now we have this kind of fantasy martial arts movie. And now, let's get into spoilers. You've been warned in 3, 2, 1, spoiler time. So the movie follows the exact same formula as the original Karate Kid movie and the 2010 remake. Boy moves across in either the nation or the world with his single mother, new place, fish out of water. Shortly after getting there, he meets a girl that he's into, and the girl's ex-boyfriend is a big bad bully who happens to know karate, so then the protagonist has to stand up to the bully in a tournament. Exactly the same, exactly, beat for beat, the exact same thing. With one exception, actually, and this is where I wish that they had gone farther. There's a subplot involving the girl's dad. So the boy's name is Lee. He moves to New York City with his mom, and the first day there, one of the first days there, he goes around the corner to get a pizza from the local pizza shop, owned by actually Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek fame. Okay, but Joshua Jackson, he owns this pizza shop. His daughter's name is Mia, who instantly Lee forms a bond with. They become friends, and then of course love interests. And Mia's father, the name escapes me, we'll just call him Joshua Jackson. He is a former prize fighter, and he had to give up his dreams of being a prize fighter when he had his daughter, and so now he runs a pizza shop. I really was much more emotionally invested in the characters of Mia and her father and their story and that whole subplot. Her father is a boxer, and he owes money to a loan shark, and so he has a plan to get that money to pay the loan shark plus some, so he can send Mia to college and stuff, and that's to take on another fight. And once he sees Lee in action, Lee kind of saves his butt in a back alley. He's like, "You're going to train me for my fight," all right? And that flipping the script and kind of plot twist from the original formula, I wish that had been the whole movie. It would have been so great to kind of have a different take on the same story. He was Jackie Chan's student in China. He moves to New York City, and instead of him having to be trained, he's the trainer. He's the teacher, right? That would have been so great. And then you could still involve Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. It could be like in the movie, Joshua Jackson ended up getting his butt kicked. Okay, so they have a couple of great training sequences. He's training the dad, and he's getting better. He's getting in shape. He's doing really well, and he's gonna win the fight. He's doing great. And then of course the bad guy has to cheat, right? He's like paid off by the loan sharks and stuff, whatever, and ends up Joshua Jackson loses the fight, getting hurt and everything. And at that point, he's not out of the picture, but pretty much his storyline's done more or less. He's like in the hospital, and you just forget about him. Okay, I would love to have seen that be the entire picture, where in the first half of the movie, Lee becomes the trainer, but then Joshua Jackson loses his first fight, and then the comeback, right? And then the kid says, "Oh, you know what? Lee, the Karate Kid." Okay, he's like, I am not good enough at this. I am too young. I am not a master. I need help." And then he calls up Jackie Chan, right? And then. And again, I don't know why you would involve Ralph Macchio at that point, but I don't know why Ralph Macchio was there anyway, and that's a problem with this film. And that's a big plot hole. I would have really liked to have more backstory on Jackie Chan and Mr. Miyagi. How did they know each other? Did they train together? Were they friends? Why is Miyagi-Do karate the one thing that can help Lee win the fight? Why does he need Ralph Macchio at all? it came across as, well, it's because that's what it says in the script. And we're connecting it to Cobra Kai now, so there you go. It's like, oh, well, we're not going to win this tournament with Kung Fu by itself for reasons, so we better get a karate guy. It's like, okay. I just feel like that wasn't a very fleshed out plot point. They could have done that better. But I liked Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. I felt like they had really good chemistry. I felt like they worked well off each other. That would have been a great storyline. And you could still have the kid kicking butt. There could still be a younger bully. Have the karate kid kicking some butt, but the main tournament at the end, or the main fight at the end, isn't his. It's the dad's. That would have been a... Heaven forbid that Hollywood has an original thought, right? No, we have to do it exactly the same way because this is what's made money, Okay, fine. That's not what happened. Joshua Jackson loses his fight. He's out of the picture. Okay. And then the rest of it is up to Lee to go win a prize money to take care of all that stuff. And there's this, again, very fictitious tournament in New York City they call the Five Boroughs Karate Tournament. And that's another big issue with this is Ralph Macchio is brought in too late in the picture. A good chunk, like the first act of the movie, you kind of forget about all of that. You forget about Miyagi and Daniel LaRusso and all that. It's all Lee's story, which I was cool with. I liked following his story. But then, for some reason, because it's in the script, Jackie Chan needs help training his student. And so he goes to California to find Miyagi's dojo. Of course, Miyagi has passed on, but turns out Jackie Chan and Miyagi knew each other. They were the two branches of the same tree, which is actually pretty awesome because that connects to the legendary founding of karate. And they do sort of tell the story in the opening sequence of the movie. Karate is certainly connected to Kung Fu. There was trade, and there was a group of immigrants from southern China who immigrated to Okinawa. And so they were living in Okinawa, and they were sharing some of their Chinese culture with the locals, including Kung Fu, which is where we get, the Okinawans combined it with their martial art that they called Te, with meaning hand, and that became Karate, which the original meaning of which was the way of the Chinese hand. So, would I recommend this movie? Yeah, I absolutely would. Take the family, take the kids. It's a good time. As a entertaining film, it's a blast. It's a good time. I laughed. It was action-packed. Good stuff. Is it a good Karate Kid movie? It's a good follow-up to the 2010 Jackie Chan remake. If it was just a sequel to the Jackie Chan film, it would be right in line with that aesthetic and that kind of tone that the Jackie Chan 2010 movie had. As it stands, being a follow-up from the original 80s, it's a different tone. It's practically a different genre. It's not a real Karate Kid movie. But, like I said, they kind of just jumped genres. It's a totally different thing at this point. So, if I just look at it as a thing that's not connected to the 84 Karate Kid, it's a good time. And so, yes, I absolutely recommend. Go check it out. And so, that's my review of Karate Kid Legends. Thank you so much for being here. If you stayed all the way to the end, why don't you comment down below? Keep kicking. That way, I know that you stayed all the way to the end. I appreciate you so much. And once again, thank you so much for over 1,000 subs, over 4,000 watch hours. And now I'm an official YouTuber. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and share with all your friends. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.